This is how P2B and the Labour Party will win their case in court. But always remember this caveat: you can never determine how any judge will decide. You can't get into the mind of a judge, even with all the massive evidence. Even when the state wants to prosecute someone, they must have checked the law to see the law that the person broke. They must have done a mini trial to gauge the success of the prosecution. All these they must do before they go to court. And they can never determine how a judge will decide, irrespective of the massive evidence that they bring to court. So let's just focus on how P2B and the Labour Party will win the case. How do you convince a judge that you won an election? Let's leave that first. Let's check how you find out that you yourself won an election. Every candidate in an election goes to the election hoping to win, but deep inside you, you know truly if you're going to win or not, because you know how popular you are, you know how you performed in a debate if you participated in one, you know how people received you many places you went to during the campaigns, so you can actually predict if you can win the election. All these predictions are based on what you think you know. What about the unknown? Presidential election is not for the faint-hearted or for a poor person, so to speak. You must have the wherewithal to handle all logistics involved so that you can stand a chance of winning the election. Because Nigerian electoral system is prone to manipulation, every candidate contesting for governorship or presidential election must spend money setting up situation room where they will collate the results by themselves in order to see the actual votes that they got, not what INEC allocated to them. So setting up this situation room involves getting the application up and running, setting up many computers, getting party faithfuls to input the figures in real time on election day. Immediately polls close at the polling unit, all party agents present must send all those figures to you. The results, they will send it to the situation room. And the guys working at the situation room will be punching all the figures and they will be looking at the main screen to see the graph. This will tabulate all the results. In case of presidential election, they will be seeing all the entire results. They will see the one that Labour Party got, the one that PDP got, the APC and others. So when all the polling unit results come in, they must have seen, hey, we won this election. They'll be looking at the board, they will look at the total scores, they will do the tabulation, look at the percentages that are required in 24 states. They will look at all these. They will say, truly, we won the election. So they will be hoping that the Electoral Commission will announce them as the winner. To their surprise, another person was announced. So now they have to head to court to prove to the court that, yes, we actually won this election and we'll have to prove it. So how do they go about proving it? We've covered this in another video, the probate value of the result sheets of political parties. Not that they are not seen as an official document, but the probate value, the one that comes first, is the copy of INEC. That's the certified true copies from INEC themselves. That's the one that comes first because INEC are the ones that conducted the election. In the eyes of the law, the one they relied on to declare a winner is the one that is taken as, it has the highest probate value. After that, you have the police copy of the results. If you can get the police copy, it can be said that there's no result from INEC. INEC didn't provide results, so the court will rely on police copy. This is the same police copy that Hope Uzodinma relied on. When you present INEC CTCs of the results in court, you have the highest chance of winning, devoid of technicality. Not that police copies will not achieve the same thing, but in order to run away from technicality or any eventuality. So that's why P2B and the Labour Party are presenting CTCs to the court as evidence. In places where INEC didn't provide the CTCs, they will rely on alternatives. Alternatives are already known: CTCs from police or political party copies. This is mostly important because a lot of people are asking, they have all the results, why don't they just present it in court and the court will decide? It doesn't actually work like that. INEC CTCs has the highest probate value. You don't want any judge to come up and say, you couldn't prove your case because you relied only on political party copies. They will say they can't trust this. After all, you guys participated in the election. How do we even know you didn't forge the results? So that kind of talk. If you want to avoid all this and all the technicality associated with providing only political party copies, then you have to go first with the one that has the highest value, the INEC CTCs and the police CTCs, in case INEC doesn't exist or they refuse to supply the results. So when you gather all these results and you want to approach the court, you must have done your calculation. You can't be claiming you won an election and you don't have the entire figures. You must have tabulated everything, even the second condition of winning the presidential election, that's scoring 25% in 24 states and Abuja. You must have done all the tabulation, calculated everything, and shown your final figure to the judge. You must do all this work for them, because if you want them to start all the collation afresh, like INEC does, that would mean it will take ages to do. So you have to do all the calculation, do everything, say this is an actual figure, and we have the evidence to back it. Look at the evidence. The evidence you provide now is what the judges will look at and say, it's true. Or they will say, no, it's not true. You didn't win. That kind of thing. So that's how you convince the judges. Now, remember that this is not the only prayer in their petition. They are also asking the court to disqualify Tinubu and other prayers. So they've called witnesses that came to testify. The first one came to testify on the conviction that Tinubu had, the forfeiture of $460,000 to the US government, the AIT staff, the Arise TV staff, and Channels TV staff. They've all come to testify on the fact that INEC didn't follow the rules. They didn't follow the electoral law in conducting the election. So they are not only presenting evidence that they won the election, they are also presenting evidence that covers all the other prayers that they included in the petition. Now to the question that many people have been asking, whether the judges will do the collation afresh, whether they will count the votes again one by one in the courtroom. The work of the judges is to verify the claims made by the Labour Party. Labour Party must have done majority of the calculations, tabulations, collation, everything. More than 95% of the work has already been done by the Labour Party. The work of the judges as people who interpret the law is to just verify the claims. Okay, let's paint a picture. Take one ward, for instance, a ward with about 10 polling units. Based on the INEC CTCs that they submitted in evidence, it shows that P2B and Labour Party scored 1,000 votes in the entire polling units inside that ward. But when you look at the results written at the ward level, that's after the collation at the ward level, instead of seeing 1,000 for Labour Party, you are seeing 200. So based on that, they will just do the calculation and differences and show, look at it. This is supposed to be 1,000, here is 200. All the way up to the National Collation Center. That's how they will prove the case. And after the whole calculations, if the judges truly agree, yes, the figures are correct, all the tabulations and collations they did are correct, the next stage for the judges is to look at the other requirements to declare a winner in the presidential election. You already know the requirements. Scoring 25% in 2/3 of 36 states and the FCT. When they verify that, then nothing can stand in the way of victory for P2B and the Labour Party. Now, what if they are not able to verify this? What will happen? As many people have numerous questions or possibilities. That's why we did a video. In that video, we explained all the possible outcomes. The video link will be at the end of this video. You can watch it to find out. In any case that they are not able to determine the winner based on the evidence before them, then that means they will have to start looking at granting any of the reliefs that Labour Party is seeking in their petition. All possibilities are already covered in that video, so you can check it out. Always remember that you can never get into the mind of a judge to know exactly how he would decide. The way we see things are different. Everyone sees things differently. Their job is to interpret the law, and in so doing, they will also look at the evidence before them and now make a decision. Thanks for watching.